Unit 16 Ancillary Services JAIIB Principles and Practices of Banking Module B. Page number 48. Demand drafts. As per section 85 open bracket A close bracket, demand draft is an order to pay money drawn by one office of a bank upon another office of the same bank for a sum of money payable to order on demand. The validity period of check and DD has been restricted by RBI to 3 months. WEF 1/4/2012. Important features of a demand draft are: it is payable to order on demand, open brackets 85A NI Act, close bracket. It cannot be issued as payable to bearer, open bracket. Restriction is as per section 31 RBI Act, close bracket. If a bank fails to honor a bank draft, it renders itself liable for damages. Similarly, omissions of signatures or wrong signatures can also make the bank liable. By prior arrangement, the paying bank could be a different bank also. Relationship. With the purchaser of a draft, the relationship is that of a debtor and creditor. With the payee, the relationship is that of a beneficiary and trustee. Stop payment and cancellation. The purchaser can get the duplicate or he could get it cancelled before it is delivered to the payee. After delivery to the payee, open brackets, delivery also includes delivered to the agent of the payee, say post office, close bracket. His instructions cannot be accepted. Payment cannot be stopped by him and can be stopped by an order of a competent court only. DD returned by payees. Where the draft was delivered to the payee and returned by him, the purchaser can get it cancelled with the consent of the payee only. Cash receipt or payment. Cash cannot be accepted as a mode for issuing demand drafts for rupees 50,000 or above. In those cases, it can be issued only to the debit of customer's account. Drafts of rupees 20,000 or above can be issued crossed as account payee only. Hence, cash payment of such DDs is not possible. Duplicate draft can be issued on the request of the purchaser, open bracket, by obtaining indemnity, close bracket, where he has not delivered the original to the payee. Payee can also ask for duplicate if the original has been delivered to him and it has been misplaced or damaged. Open bracket, section 45 NI Act, close bracket. Payment of duplicate and original. On presentation of the duplicate draft to the paying bank, if original and duplicate are presented together, the duplicate would be paid and original will be returned. If original is already paid, the duplicate would be returned. If duplicate is already paid, original would be returned. If original is presented before the duplicate, confirmation of the collecting bank would be sought. Bank will exercise due care to ascertain the genuineness of the payee. Validity. Drafts are valid for 6 months. Open bracket 3 months WEF 1/4/2012, close bracket. On expiry of the original validity, it can be extended, open bracket, from date of revalidation, close bracket, by the issuing branch on the request of the purchaser or the payee. Time limit for issue of duplicate DD. As per RBI directives, open bracket, March 9, 2000, close bracket, banks are to issue duplicate demand drafts to the customer within a fortnight from the receipt of such requests. For the delay beyond the stipulated period, banks are to pay interest at the rate applicable for fixed deposit of corresponding maturity for such delay. Lockers. The relationship between the bank and the lessee of a locker shall be that of a lessor and lessee. Locker contents. The bank has no responsibility or liability of any kind, and it shall not be held responsible for any loss or damage to the same arising out from any cause whatsoever. Loss of key. For loss of key, locker would be broken open in presence of the lessee and cost borne by him. In emergency cases, if loss is reported by one locker holder, further operations will be joint operation only. Search and attachment order. Commission of Income Tax can authorize entry and search into any locker. In case of attachment or prohibitory orders, necessary note will be given in all books and operations would be allowed only when the order is vacated. RBI directives, open bracket, April 17, 2007, close bracket, on the recommendations of Committee on Procedures and Performance Audit on Public Services, open bracket, CPPAPS, close bracket, RBI reviewed the guidelines relating to safe deposit lockers or safe custody articles and issued the fresh guidelines, open bracket, April 17, 2007, close bracket, in supersession of the existing guidelines which are reproduced as under allotment of lockers, linking of allotment to placement of fixed deposits. It is a restrictive practice and banks are to refrain from such restrictive practices. Fixed deposit as security for lockers. Banks may obtain a fixed deposit to cover 3 years' rent and the page number 49. Charges for breaking open the locker in case of an eventuality. Banks should not insist on such fixed deposit from the existing locker hirers. Wait list of lockers. Branches to maintain a wait list for allotment of lockers. All applications for allotment should be given a wait list number. Lockers which have remained unoperated but rent is being paid. When the lockers have remained unoperated for more than 3 years for medium risk category or 1 year for a higher risk category, the bank should immediately contact the locker hirer and advise him to either operate the locker or surrender it. Banks should ask the locker hirer to give in writing the reasons why he or she did not operate the locker. In case the locker hirer has some genuine reason, as in the case of NRIs or persons who are out of town due to a transferable job, etc., banks may allow the locker hirer to continue with the locker. In case the locker hirer does not respond nor operate the locker, banks should consider opening the lockers after giving due notice to him. Banks should incorporate a clause in the locker agreement that in case the locker remains unoperated for more than 1 year, the bank would have the right to cancel the allotment and open the locker, even if the rent is paid regularly. Return of articles to survivor open bracket S close bracket or nominee open bracket S close bracket or legal heir open bracket S close bracket on death of locker holder. In single name lockers, the articles are returned to the nominee if no nominee to legal heirs. If in joint name either or survivor and former or survivor, the articles are returned to the survivor if all locker holders expire, to nominee if no nomination, to legal heirs of all jointly. In joint name joint operation lockers, the articles are returned to the survivor and nominee of deceased if all expire, to nominees if no nomination, to legal heirs of all jointly. Articles placed in the safe custody on death of customer. In single name, to the nominee if no nominee, to legal heirs. In joint name, in such cases nomination is not available, then to the survivor if all locker holders expire, to legal heirs of all jointly. Real-time gross settlement (RTGS). RTGS means simultaneous transmission, processing and settlement of the financial transactions. Implementation in India 26/03/2004. Settlement is on gross basis. Open bracket, separate for each transaction, close bracket. Instead of on net basis, settlement is continuous and not on batch system, which happens in NEFT. RBI is settlement authority and IRDBT as central processing agent. Message flow model adopted in India, Y-shaped model. Risk taken care of, systemic risk and settlement risk. Settlement cycle max 2 hours, open bracket, presently, close bracket. Transaction time, customer transactions 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. normal days and up to 2 p.m. on Saturday. Bank transaction 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. normal days and up to 3:30 p.m. on Saturdays. Size of transactions rupees 2 lakh or above. Credit to account to be done on the basis of account number and not account name. Open bracket. This is for RTGS or NEFT or ECS or NECS credit. Close bracket. National Electronic Fund Transfer NEFT. It is a batch system and not an online continuous system. It is an account to account transfer. There are 12 settlements on hourly basis from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. Open bracket. 6 settlements on Saturday 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Close bracket. Settlement period P plus 2, open bracket, destination bank to credit within 2 hours of return, close bracket. For delay, repo rate plus 2% interest payable to customer. There is no minimum and maximum amount of a transaction. NEFT uses an Indian Financial System IFS code, an alphanumeric code that identifies bank branches. It has 11 digits. First 4 represents a bank code. Fifth represent the control code, open bracket, presently 0, close bracket, and remaining 6 are branch code. Process A. Remitter provides information in a prescribed form and authorizes debit to account. B. Branches prepares SFMS message to send a service center of NEFT. C. Service center forwards it to RBI to include in the next remittance cycle. D. At clearing center, RBI sorts bank-wise transactions for debit or credit on net basis and forwards the information concerned bank. E. The receiving bank processes the message to give credit to the beneficiary. Penal interest for delay 2% plus repo rate. Page number 50. Electronic Clearing Service ECS. ECS has two components, ECS debit and ECS credit. ECS debit is used for payment of utility bills by consumer, wherein the service provides recovers the charges on the basis of authority given by the consumer. ECS credit is used by the companies, mutual funds, etc. to make payment of a large number of small amount transactions relating to interest or dividend payment. Services of clearing house are used in the process. ECS user submits the request per data to one of the approved clearing houses. On the given day, the clearing house debits the account of ECS user through the bank and credits the amount to recipient bank for allowing credit to the beneficiary. Portfolio management. Portfolio refers to a basket of investment in debt or equity security on the combined basis. Debt securities yield fixed interest and equity securities yield variable dividend. A combination of these provide a stable growth to the portfolio value. Portfolio management refers to the management of the portfolio for safety of investment and growth of value of portfolio. Basic principles of portfolio management. 1. Portfolio and not an individual security is important. 2. Large returns from portfolio are possible with larger risks. 3. Diversified portfolio reduces portfolio risk. 4. Risk on individual security depends upon when the security is liquidated. 5. Portfolio should be according to individual need of the investor. RBI guidelines on portfolio management. 1. Services are provided at customers' risk only without guarantee of return. 2. Minimum period should be 1 year. 3. Transactions should be booked at current market rates. 4. Funds should not be entrusted to another bank for management. 5. Funds should be essentially deployed in capital market only. 6. On undeployed funds, CRR and SLR is applicable.